All right, thanks for staying with us now. Road transport is the most commonly used mode of transportation in Nigeria today. Road traffic depends on the pattern of human settlements, now accounting for more than 90% of subsectors' contribution to the gross domestic product. Public transport security refers to the measure taken by a mass transit system to keep its passengers and employees safe, protect the carrier's equipment, and to make sure other violations do not occur. Now, this includes the enforcement of various rules and regulations, human and video surveillance, and the deployment of a transit police force and other techniques. Now, it's safe to say the public transport security in Nigeria is very poor, with a constant negative feedback and complaints from citizens. While we fight for a better country, we must protect ourselves with whatever it is. We must be alert and protect ourselves, equip ourselves with information. Now, what signs do you take note of when using public transportation? Do you even pay attention to your environment? Do you pay attention? So please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So I'm going to ask our ladies just 2 seconds before I bring in our guests. Do you actually pay attention to your environment when you're boarding and the hailing, yes, hailing services, or maybe a bus or whatever? Do you pay attention?
I do pay attention. In fact, I am super paranoid because I mean, when ride-hailing services came to started in Nigeria, in Lagos, you know, we were not really used to it. You know, we have a lot of family friends or family of members in abroad that are actually using this ride-hailing service, and you heard what they've talked about. But you know, when you know Nigeria, you have to be extra careful. I mean, with the downfall buses, there's the one chance that happens that some people would pretend that, oh, they're passengers, and the next thing they're robbing you. And I've even heard a lot of, you know, stories about the ride-hailing services that they rape girls, they steal from girls, even from men. I think there was a time they killed a guy pretending to go drop something. I mean, it's really scary, and I make sure that always, if I feel a certain type of way, I'm ending it right. If I forgot something, where I'm coming from. So please stop, let me calm down. I mean, it's really crazy. Thank God, like yesterday now, Chloe's experience, she actually had to calm down. You know, at first she wasn't so sure, but she had to pretend like she was talking to her sister, and the guy packed for her like, calm down, calm down, calm down. I mean, she was really alert, and it was quite scary. Everybody just has to be alert.
How about you, Issy? Let me hear your thoughts.
Basically, for me, I had a first-hand experience with a cab driver I actually hailed a while back then, and the guy actually tried to kill me. So yes, he actually tried to strangle me. Yes, that's the truth. And because of that, in fact, that was the first motivation to actually get my first car. When I finished that experience, I was traumatized from that experience. So whenever I get into a cab, I look under, look inside, check the boot, everything that is possible to look at. And I take it till I come down from that vehicle, I'm not at peace with myself. So yes, I had a first-hand experience with it, and yes, since then I have been quite vigilant whenever I find myself having to board public transportation.
You know, talking about especially cabs, because I've not had any experience with bus. Okay, my first experience with the bus was when I was coming into Lagos. First, I wanted to come and see boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
So me and my sister, the next thing we were inside this yellow bus, and he goes, calm down, calm down, calm down. I was wondering what happened. And he said that he was actually monitoring, watching the driver, and it's like the driver and the conductor, they were communicating with their eyes.
Oh my goodness.
So he saw their gesture, and immediately we came down, both of them started laughing.
What?
They started laughing. So he said that he was watching them, that we were aloof. We were not even paying attention. So when he saw it, he just said we should come down. Then again, with hailing taxis,
yes.
You know, experiences have said that, or people that have had experiences of them putting child lock, you're not able to bring down the window, you're not, you know, so when they say that when you go into those taxis,
just check those
things first. You know, but you know what? It's not my duty to tell us what we need to look out for, because this one now is really scary. But let me bring in Dixon Osaji. Is a criminologist and global security analyst. He holds a gold standard security certification, the Certified Protection Professional, that's CPP, board certified, United States of America. He is a former soldier of the Nigerian Army and a recipient of the Nigerian Army Gallantry Medal of Honor in Operation Harmony 4, Bamise Peninsula. Dixon is an internationally certified security expert and the managing director of Debris Protection Services Limited, a licensed private service company in Nigeria. And he's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much, Dixon. He's a friend of the house. Might I add? Dixon, anytime I'm in trouble, I will just call Dixon and say, please, 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 this is the situation. What can I do?
You're
but
always
Dixon,
in beautiful trouble.
Oh, but Dixon, tell me, this is really scary for me. And let's start with Bamise, right?
Okay.
And when the governor, the story I took when the governor was saying that when you see that the buses, first of all, how much sensitization do people even know when it comes to security and boarding, especially public transport system? How much are we aware of?
Well, that's a fantastic question, Uwa, because the statement from the Lagos State Governor, for me, well, it's a good one, but I don't think he needs to put the responsibility on the passengers, because how do you disseminate this information to other people who are finding themselves in Lagos? Maybe Johnny just come, those who go to Lagos newly. First of all, the Lagos State needs to take accountability and responsibility for what transpired in the area of Bamise. Because when you go into the road transport vulnerability analysis, you observe that the Lagos State government must be held accountable. And the family of Bamise should sue the Lagos State government, because you can't project drivers on the highway that are not well vetted. How do you vet these drivers? What about their background check? I was going through the guy's name. He said Andrew Nice, or what's his name? Nice. Where is that Nice coming from? That should be a signal. Where is it from? Nice. Is he a Nigerian? Is he from Edo State? Is he an Igbo guy? Is he a Yoruba guy? Or is he Andrew Nice or something? And if we keep on carrying out an effective background check on our drivers, not even Lagos State government, every one of us, we need to buckle our belt right now, because the state of insecurity truly is very worrisome. It's very regrettable that this lady just died like a chicken. It's so painful. The story from the driver is not adding up at all, because you departed from a particular zone. Where's your destination? Why are you picking only a lone passenger, and why a lady? And on your way, you picked another passenger on the highway. Is that the policy of the Lagos State government? Does the policy permit you, to stop in an environment that is not recognized? It's like a bus stop. Yeah, was it a bus? Did you pick those three guys in the terminal? It wasn't a bus stop. So when you look at the policies of the Lagos State transportation system, you observe that this driver has breached most of those policies. For me, I think the guy is a criminal, and a lot of things like this have been happening. How can you tell that this guy has not, taken a lot of done it before? I so believe that this guy.
This is not the first
time. It's not the first time. It's not the first time, and its sole targets are ladies. And as time goes on, we'll also be talking about protection, ladies' protection, because sometimes as a lady, you don't need to just go out like that, because when you look at security chain, children and women are the most vulnerable in a family security chain. The lady was crying for help. Peradventure, if it was a guy, it might have activated verbal judo or whatever.
Okay, so Osayi, let's stay on, sorry Dixon, let's stay on
yeah, that's my name too, Osayi. Right.
Let's stay on this girl.
All right.
So I listened to the voice notes that she was sending to her friend. It tells me that even with the voice note, they were still chatting and laughing. She never, ever thought that this was a red flag, because she was still going on. The friend said, okay, they were speaking, I didn't understand the Yoruba fully, but you could see the friend telling her that, okay, Shaz, whatever it is, have you calmed down?
Yes.
Okay, so just keep me posted. It was a normal chat. She didn't envisage that she was going to die.
Yeah, that was a journey.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. How do we even know that we're in danger?
I think what transpires is that sometimes when you are in a public vehicle, the first thing you need to be alert. You need to look at the environment, sense the environment. You need to have eye contact. You gave a story about your brother that was saying, "Hey, let's come down, let's go down." Like when I got to Benin about 12 years ago, I boarded a taxi, and all of a sudden the driver just brought up a story and said, "Madam, we are going to take you to police station. Where did you steal this $20,000 from?" This is my head blew up.
That kind of car before.
My head blew up. I said, "God, thank you for answer prayers." The driver said, "We'll share this money. We'll share this money." I said, "Madam, something just hit me. Bang! Hey, guy, somebody want to share money with you, a stranger?" All of a sudden, I just told the driver, I said, "Driver, Can we just take them to military barrack? I'm a soldier, we'll deal with her. The driver on his way say, "Oga, come down, come down, come down." I alerted. Before I came down, my bag was by the middle side of the box. I have to transfer it to my right hand before I got down. Because if you leave your belongings to your left, they will just zoom off and they might injure you. So that was how I brought my bag to the right side, and I alerted from the vehicle. And all of a sudden, they zoomed off. Now, in the issue of Bamise, I think she did not carry out what we call streetwise. You know, sometimes when you get into the vehicle, always have eye contact. You know, the eyes is a place where you can easily dictate the sign of a criminal, because when you have eye contact with these drivers, look at the people they are picking, you'll be able to, alert quickly. Now, she was busy chatting with her friend. She was not concentrating. You know, sometimes when you're in a public bus, can you please keep your phone aside after communicating to your family? Hey, I've boarded so bus, and I've boarded XYZ bus, I'm on my way. And yes, the number plate is this. And whenever you suspect any, suspicious movement, try to allow the person know you know what's happening. So on this girl's part, I think she was careless in the area of chatting, and maybe until the dying minutes when those 3 guys were picked before this release transfer. It's painful, very painful.
There was a case of an individual who boarded the bus from Onitsha.
Okay.
And I think he's a naval officer. And I don't know, I think this happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And they left Onitsha, I think they were coming down this way to Lagos or something, and they had about a few people in the vehicle that were not kidnappers. The rest of them were kidnappers. Okay. So it was just the military officer who was in the vehicle that actually alerted the members or the other members.
That video I sent to the group. Yes.
So he was the one that actually saved the day. Now, because he was, he has some sort of military training, and he had that instinct to look out for things like this. So if you are a passenger, a random passenger, and you board a vehicle, what are those little tiny signs you look out for? How do you tell the difference between a normal, aside from the eye contact, how do you tell the difference from a normal passenger and those who have ulterior motives?
You know, sometimes you need to believe your instincts. That is the first point when it comes to deterrence and security. Your instinct will never lie to you. Sure. It will never lie to you. And whenever you perceive anything negative, just obey your instincts. As the first thing. Once you have an ill perception, or peradventure you boarded the bus, and whenever you board the bus, the first thing you need to do, scan through the bus, look at the passengers. You know, try to greet, good afternoon, if you care. If you don't care, just scan through. Then you see a thief. If you don't see a thief, you can move on. But you know, sometimes when you rely on divine protection, which you and I believe that, oh yes, God protects each and every one of us, but wisely, you must know where you sit. You know, don't board, like most times I discourage people from taking Sienna. Sienna does not have windows. The windows are not operable. You just only have a one-way or two-way doors, you know. Make sure that you look through the bus you're going through, and whenever you're in a bus, scan through, look through all the passengers and the driver, and pay attention to their communication, because sometimes they might be communicating with the slangs or with the jargons, and you never can tell. They might just say, I beg, I bring that biscuit come for you. Where you did? Okay, I will soon deliver the bread. You know.
Wow.
Why are you making communication while you're in the vehicle that you soon deliver the bread or you soon drop the biscuit? You know, those are signs to look out for. Make sure once the driver activates any communication, whenever you are in a bus and the driver activates communication, be very careful.
Very alert.
Very alert with that communication.
I remember growing up, right from when I was going to boarding school, GSS1, you know, from Lagos to, because I was in Nigerian Navy, Port Harcourt. So from Lagos to Port Harcourt, the public bus were entering. My father would take a picture of the plate number and like, baby, this is the plate number, where's the driver's number, write it there. These people, make sure that you talk to, oh, please, this is my daughter. You know, those kind of things, you're paying attention. Even when I was in the university, wherever I'm going to, I'm sending a message to my friend or to my sister that, oh, this is the place I'm going to, this is the address.
Know where you are.
Someone has to know where you are. Even when you're entering a vehicle, I feel like with Uber and, with the ride-hailing services, you have to, imagine you're snapping the plate number at the back, and then maybe you form like a recording, oh, I'm in the vehicle now, or I'm moving now. If you're even seeing any sign, like Chloe said, she called her sister. okay, oh, so you're behind me, Abi. Okay, you're coming. Okay, no problem. So we've gotten to this place now. Oh, no problem. But when they see that you are not quiet, you are not, they'll readjust. Oh, yeah. Like the other lady said, the guy packed and said, "Calm down, calm down." Because the person is saying that this one is trouble.
Yeah, that's psychological deterrence.
But it's so scary. Like, why are you being inhumane? Like, this person is a human being. You have a child, or you have parents, or brothers, or sisters, and this person too have loved ones.
Criminal.
You leave that for crime and management. Like what she just discussed is a very sensitive point. It's what we call psychological deterrence. You know, sometimes if you don't have the tools or the power to engage the enemy, you apply psychology. You trick them psychologically. That's what she's trying to say, psychological deterrence. Because sometimes most of these guys, they are very heartless. And when they know you know, they'll try to be very, very careful. And that's why each time you are moving around, you want to go out, like you rightly said, make sure you tell your friends. You don't like some girls say,
don't be doing underground moves.
No, don't do that,
and we want to communicate. When I say communicate to your friends, your loved ones, yes, those you trust, those who got your back, and don't always say, I want to hang out. I'm hanging out. Where are you hanging out? We're hanging out somewhere. Hanging out where? You need to be specific. Tell us where you are hanging out or hanging in.
Just one person.
You know what? Let's go on a very short break. When we come back from the break, we'll take some.
We are not hanging out.
Yes, we're not hanging out. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Now, if you just tuned in, we're having a discussion around security, and we're saying what are the signs to note when using a public transport system, and we have Dixon here with us. Please let us share what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. All right, so we have our regular viewers. They've already started sending messages. Let me just take one from, what's his name, Jalingo, Taraba State. That's Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy. He says, my security tip, what I normally do when I board a taxi, either taxi, Danfo, BRT in places like Lagos, you know, is simple. I must take the number plate, clear kind of person driving the cab, the color and make of the cab, and where I boarded the cab from. Have stayed in Lagos for 13 years, so I know the tricks. We should all be careful, especially these days of rituals all over the nation. May God expose anyone that has had a hand in the killing of Bamise. Great topic. You always have at ways. Thank you so much, Bobby Kennedy. So, you know, Dixon, let's come to this ritual killing, because this thing you talked about, this dollar thing. I just came out from a bank in Benin. I was doing my IT. I was in 200 level. So I was in my IT in a company in Benin. So I was going towards that called, is it, what's the road now? Okay, I've forgotten the road. No. Ikoba Hill. So I came out from the UBA bank then, because then my parents used to send me the money. Even though I was the youngest, I was the one collecting the money for all my sisters. So I would go to the bank and go and collect the money to give them their own share. So I came out of the bank, I entered a taxi because I was going back to the office. All of a sudden, the taxi man started the conversation about dollar. There's dollar in the boot. See this guy, in fact, I just want to go and drop this passenger now. Once I drop, I'm turning back to the park. I want to do whatever. Me where be say my brain. So as soon as they just started that conversation about dollar and everything, I kept quiet. I didn't say a word. I did not say a word. I was just listening to them. So as soon as I said driver, all of them in the vehicle said, It was the driver I called. All of them answered me. They said, I said, okay.
She has responded.
I said, I want to come down now. He said, but madam, we never reach you. I said, drop me now. So immediately, I asserted that he stopped, and I came down from the taxi, and immediately, they were supposed to be going straight, so they turned back immediately to go and look for their next victim. The fear that I have today, this was then, 2000 and, when was my IT? 2002, right? Now, there is a combination of ritual killing. You know, it's no longer that thing of just normal, let me just scam you. So because that one, it is if you are greedy, that you fall victim of such. But now there are killings, ritualists, and all of that. So are we saying that we should just complete? Because honestly, I am very paranoid when I enter, whether it is the cab riding services or what, anyone, as long as I'm not the one, I don't have control of that steering, I am paranoid. So is it that we should completely avoid it? Because now the level of criminality is not so just high. Say they want to scam you of your money. They want to rape you. They want to take your life. It is crazy. So how do we even start in terms of security to protect our lives? Should we just avoid these public services?
I just remember that. I mean, I know this thing still happens now on Admiralty Way. You know, people that are going back home from work, Admiralty and VI. So you know these private vehicles that you've closed from work. You just want to help, and some people genuinely actually are there to help. And then most people don't even know the difference between these private vehicles and the ones that are trying to steal from them or rob them. And I've seen a couple of instances that people enter and then you have entered and they'll be at the bus stop with you. Then you rush inside thinking that people that are at the bus stop are part of the people going home, not knowing that
they are all part of it.
They're all part of it.
How do we just avoid this?
They're all part of it. You see, it's a complex situation. That's when we talk about security. Security and safety is a complex situation. Safety deals with accidental issues, while security deals with incidents, intentional threats. And for us to curtail that, we need to also work in line with our government. You see, our government are not doing enough. Just take, for example, Lagos State. Lagos State is supposed to be a mega city. So sad that a state like Lagos makes a lot of billions every day, does not have CCTV cameras in our highway. No street light in our highway. Because if we have street light on our highways, we have CCTV cameras. These are all under the classifications of psychological deterrence. Now, if a vehicle is taking you from point A to point B, we should have people in the CCTV monitoring room in Lagos State government, either whatever the case may be, or monitoring what is happening within the state of Lagos. So we need to start holding our government accountable, you understand? Because left to you and I, we don't have more to say or more to do. Some of us have to fall back to divine protection. But what I will advise ladies out there is that go out with your self-defense equipment. Make sure you have your teaser, high-power taser. High-power teaser, not just teaser, high-power teaser that can electrocute any person, whatever the case may be. Have your pepper spray. For example, if Bamise had a pepper spray, for example, all she needs to do is just to release the pepper spray, let everybody collapse there. Then the driver will go and hit any bus somewhere, and police will come and pick everybody up and go and resuscitate whoever they want to resuscitate. You understand? So I will advise our ladies out there, before you step out, make sure you have your self-defense mechanism equipment.
Especially if you move at night.
They say move at night. Like one night, I was going to my estate. I saw a lady. She was walking she was catwalking. I was driving. She was catwalking. Then she got to a street. I gave it to her. She got to a street. That street is a dead-boat street. She removed the high heel. The two high heel.
Ready to run.
Put in her back. I was just driving behind her. Come and see how she was walking like a soldier. I said from catwalk to soldier. So when it comes to danger, leave catwalk alone. Leave high heel alone. Survival matters. And the way you dress matters whenever you are going out at night. Look smart, look fit, so that in the case of any eventuality, you'll be able to succeed. So going back by your question, the Lagos State government or our government needs to start looking at road transport security and safety mechanism components.
Let's take some comment on Lero.
Yeah, so this question, it's actually a question from Benson. So he's saying that the NURTW that are clearly a menace on the roads today, what level of checks do they have on their members on the roads with the obscene dues that they extort from the drivers on the road?
It's so sad that the NURTW is not government oriented. I think it's hoodlum oriented, because when you go to each bus, from bus to bus, I just feel we don't have leadership. You understand? Because when it comes to life and property, human life must be given topmost priority. You can't put hooligans on the road or on the street to govern or to direct living people. You understand? And I want Lagos State government to, try to look into the NURT, their enlistment methodology. How do you enlist these guys into NURT? What training do you give these guys? Do they have training on journey management? Do they have training on safety and security measures? Nothing. So you just put danger on the road to avert danger. It's impossible because danger cannot avert danger. So we need to start looking at training and also,
these buses now. Let's go back to the BRT buses.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So for the downfall buses, we might not be able to do so much about them. You just need to be, at that, because again, BRT was
can do something about that.
Well, government can take them off the road,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm saying that I am sure in this young girl's head is that BRT is the safest.
Safer, yes,
sure.
Because they've heard of. I mean, we had an intern. What's her name? Or Tammy. Tammy just worked with us for like 2 weeks. The next day she came with bruises. They even stabbed her thigh just at the hotel here. She entered the one chance bus. So those are the BRT, the downfall buses.
Yeah, private buses.
So when I am sure in her head when she was entering the BRT bus, I am entering a safe place. right?
Sure,
so
yeah.
this one now that the lights were off.
Okay.
First of all, let's keep that one aside because it means that Lagos State has failed in sensitizing people.
Oh, sure.
Because
Yeah.
I'm just hearing that for the first time,
Oh, sure.
right? So secondly, were they not supposed to have like, who checks the driver?
Bus supervisor.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
Who checks the driver that you are not, since your light is off, it means you're not operational, you're not supposed to be picking passengers.
Totally.
Who is checking the driver? That's
you're
number
still
one.
stopping.
Number two, why do they not have CCTV cameras
In
in
the
the
buses?
buses?
Oh, yeah.
Because that is why we actually brought in those BRT buses, is
Yeah.
to modernize transportation
Oh, sure, you're
in
correct.
Lagos State. So why don't we have CCTV buses? Is that not on its own a big security risk?
It's a big security risk.
It is.
Yeah.
So how do we start to hold them accountable for this?
Yeah, that's why I advise the family of Bamise to sue Lagos State government for damages massively, you understand? Because you can't put the public at risk. You are here to give the public safety and security, and this BRT is supposed to be a comfort vehicle. And everybody believes that since it's a government vehicle, I think I am safe.
Should be safe.
And now that is how Mr. Nice, as his name states, or Mr. Danger, took that vulnerability of Lagos State government and go in there because that guy must have been a serial
He's an
killer.
expert.
Yes,
he
an
must
expert,
have
a
been
serial
doing
killer,
it
and
this time.
he believed that, hey, I will not achieve this by using buses. Let me just go into
The BRT system.
Yeah,
because the security implications there is vulnerable. That is why we need to hold the. In fact, I had expected the Lagos State government to sack the management of the BRT because you cannot take such kind of a risk for granted. You know, when human life is involved, are you with me? Because when you go to hierarchy of protection, human life comes first in anything you do. So when we start holding people accountable, and one of the problems we have in this part of our world is accountability. We don't have accountability from both the horizontal plane and vertical plane. Anybody can do whatever they want to do, come to office, do whatever you want to, go back. No accountability. If we have an effective accountability, I think the supervisor who discharge that vehicle must have, giving the driver instruction that, hey, straight. Or maybe if you hold one or two drivers accountable for not obeying the traffic policies and the operational standard operational procedures.
Do they even have a document that says that
That
this
is-
is
that is-
standard operations?
That is what we'll
Do
be
you understand?
asking. That's
Those are
what
the
we'll
kind
be
of questions
asking.
we
And
need
that's
to
what
be
we'll be
asking.
asking. And
It's
thank God we have
check-in.
Lagos State Safety Commission. I will speak to the GM tomorrow. I think they need to, integrate Lagos State Commission with these BRT buses. A lot of safety issues will be mitigated.
Aside
Trust
from
me.
the BRT buses, we also have the Danfo buses.
Danfo
So
buses.
they are all
Those
They-
Danfo
they have
buses
bikes,
are
they
special
use
risk.
merge
keke
all of
too.
them
I mean, I've
together.
heard about
And
keke
we've
as
also
well.
seen situations whereby these bus drivers are under some sort of influence or the other.
Yeah,
so
true.
you can't even tell
I mean,
when
NAFDAC
how was
said-
he when he actually was driving that
So
bus.
NAFDAC said that was why because we have been shouting about this sachet drink
Yes.
for a very long time. Most of these drivers are drunk.
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning, that's what
they're
they put in their
taking.
mouth and all of that. So, I mean, NAFDAC has said that they would ban it very soon. So we will no longer be seeing it. But
Yeah.
again, even if they
They'll
ban
still
it,
find a
will
way
they not
out
buy a
it
bottle
now.
and be drink and be sipping
Yes,
it small,
no.
small?
They'll find a way
So
out.
does it even solve a problem?
The local
It doesn't,
gin will also come
it doesn't
to
solve the
play.
problem. What is
The
going to
local
solve
gin
this
will come
problem
to
is accountability. Lagos State government needs to take full accountability of our transportation system. They must, hit the road very hard. Like most of these Danfo buses, you don't find plate numbers. How do you apply our road without plate numbers? How do you identify most of these Danfo
then
buses?
there
Some
are
of them might
officials
put
on the
fake
road.
numbers on the vehicle. What the VIO are interested in doing is just to start
Collect money.
harassing
Private
vehicles,
yes.
and individual going to offices asking of their papers. Those are not the risks that are being posed to society. The risk we are facing here in Lagos State is this Danfo driver. So what the Lagos State government needs to do, they need to carry out a risk analysis and risk assessment of our road transport system, then profile mitigation factors. If we have to deal with Danfo, take them off the road. Even the Danfos alone is just
So
They're
we
not
have a comment
ready.
with Isi, but let
Okay.
me quickly take ask you this question. In the case of Bamise now, this
All right.
BRT, who do you think are the top 5 people that should be arrested? Because I don't think that driver did it in isolation,
Yes.
and I do not think that he's the only one that should be thrown under the bus. So who are the people you think in your experience that they should at least arrest those 5 people for us? They should be part of the driver in the cell.
Oh, sure. I think the driver should, by now, should have confessed to the police who those guys who those guys are, because you cannot tell me you pick three strangers on the high road, on the highway, 3 guys, not 2 guys and a lady, and later say that they tried to drag the girl, and later on he zoomed off.
He ran
Not
away.
thought the lady was still in the vehicle. Bush stories. For me, I think first of all, the management of the BRT
BRT
system must be sacked immediately, not
Like
before
immediately.
immediately. Because if you don't do this, you will not have deterrence mechanism. You know, we'll talk about deterrence mechanism. That's where crime and punishment comes to play. Punishment is the only survival instinct that we will be able to use to succeed in our day-to-day activities, and that is where the administration of criminal justice system needs to play. You know, the police, the court, and the prison. So for me, when you sack the GM, then the line supervisors, who is in charge of this vehicle? Who are the supervisors? Then the technical team, what happened to the CCTV? Because I thought before now,
The BRT had CCTV.
CCTV. I never knew. But I think the first time BRT came out, I
think
saw
yeah,
one or
I
two
think so.
CCTVs
They
on
did.
the BRT, because you can't ply a public bus without PRT, without CCTV.
CCTV.
Yeah, so for me, get the management sack, the first two hierarchy sack, get the supervisor sacked, the technical team get them sacked, then carry out an
People
overhaul of
arrested.
the road transport system.
System.
No, can we can't just leave it as sacked.
Get
If
people
it's sacked
arrested.
and arrest.
Prosecute, you have to prosecute them.
Because somebody's dead.
Prosecute
I mean,
them.
if we start to pay attention to human life, right, maybe things will change. Because every time things like this happen, we just all come out, we make noise, and it
And that's
ends
the
there.
end.
It
But let me
ends
take Isi's comment, and I'll come back to you later.
My comment goes thus. It says, "Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying ways. I think BRT should be scrapped for life. People take security for granted. That is why when they go out, mostly at night, they do not say where they are going. Parents should stop their children from going out anyhow. God help us. It is well with us. My name is Daniel.
The girl wasn't going out anyhow. She was coming back from
I
work.
think, I
Just a
think,
victim of
I think,
circumstance.
yes, that is just what just happened.
Alera, your
I'm
comment.
telling
Okay,
you.
so
That's just
we
what
have a
happened.
comment from Bobby Kennedy. So he said the NURTW is a thuggery association established in Lagos.
I agree.
Nobody should trust them. Guess what? The police is not even helping matters. Most of them take local drains like Baraga, etc. Lagos government should change their method and approach in securing our lives, please. Like, please.
I agree with you.
Another thing we've talked about how ladies should protect themselves based on the fact that it was Bamise that actually passed on from this experience. What about young men that actually find themselves in this kind of
A lot of men have
vulnerable
experienced it as
situation?
well.
How do they defend themselves?
Yeah, you see, I was on my way home some few days ago. I pulled over at Obalende Axis, and some people just jumped into my car.
Exactly what I was
And
talking about.
there was a 14-year-old boy coming back from school. So when I looked at this boy, I said, "How old are you?" He said, "I'm 14. Where do you school?" He said, "School on the island." I said, "Well, on our way back to the mainland." And I wondered, what if I am one of those bad guys?
Exactly. Why are you so trusting of a stranger?
You know the reason? Because we don't have effective and efficient road transport system, and that is why most people just have to hang on the roadside
people are
and jump
desperate to
into
get to
private
their
vehicle because they are
homes.
desperate to get to their homes because of the traffic and whatever the case may be. We don't have a lot of roads in Lagos. I came back from Abuja last week. I feel like relocating from Lagos because a lot of road network, and because of the high traffic in Lagos, most of these guys want to get home quickly. And they fall into the hands of this criminal element. Like you rightly said, sensitization is very important, just like the Lagos State government says. Don't even board a vehicle. My vehicle is a tinted vehicle, and these guys, they just jump into my vehicle. They don't even care if there's a lion. They don't even care if there's a lion in my car, or maybe there's a dog. Everybody just bump in. And I felt so sorry for that 14-year-old guy. How will you, and I want to ask the parents, what happened? That is a parental absenteeism.
Do you know how many 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds, I mean, younger
We talked about 8
children, like really on the streets already?
We have a lot to do in Lagos
There's
State.
so much to be done.
The Lagos State, we have a safety commission in Lagos, a very effective institute. I think we're going to take this up. We need to take over the road space, our road space. Very, very important, because human lives matter. If you are gone, you are gone. Bamise is gone. From Maja to Ota, back to heaven.
She's gone.
It's so sad.
Very sad.
And it's her mother's
On that
house.
note, thank you so much, Dixon. This is all heartbreaking.
It is actually.
Without rapid justice, nothing will halt the mayhem our society faces today, and that's the truth,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah.
While
I
we're
agree.
trying to secure the other people that are still alive, we also must find justice for those that are dead. Because again, people get away with crime in this country. That's why you see it happening.
And you don't blame them. Our judicial system is one of the problems we have in this country. You know, I talked about the administration of criminal justice system, which comprises of the police, the legislature, the police, the court, the prison. Now, when the police apprehend a criminal, working so hard to get a criminal, take it to court. Evans, I don't know if they've passed that.
I think they finally put in.
After how many years?
Yes.
If you observe at the arrest of Evans, the kidnap market took the boom. Yeah, it went up because people believe that you can make more money because the risk in kidnapping is very slim compared to the risk in armed robbery.
Yeah.
So what do? Our administration of criminal justice system needs to wake up to the task, punish people effectively, swiftly,
immediately.
Not because most people go to church. I've seen somebody go to church and give thanksgiving. Say, thank God, my matter has just been charged to court. How will you find the court a solace place? No. So I think our government needs a lot to do in the area of administration of criminal justice system.
A lot. All right, thank you so much, Dixon.
Thank you, Uwa. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do. You know, I enjoy your programs every time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sensitizing the public. You know, God bless you.
We'll have to do more of this.
We do.
Thank you, Isi. Thank you, Alero.
Thank you.
So before we go, I think we have a shout out. It's Isi. Whose birthday is it?
It's Dr. Arnold's birthday.
Happy
Dr. Pat
birthday,
Arnold.
Dr.
Arnold.
Happy birthday, ma.
Happy birthday. Stay safe and secure.
Oh, that's a picture. Nice.
Yes, pretty
That's
woman.
she's your aunt?
She's my aunt, and she's, I call her my swag queen.
Oh,
Yeah,
she looks swagalicious.
She is. She is.
Happy birthday, ma.
Happy birthday, Auntie.
All right,
We
so
love you
before we
with
go,
all our
do
heart.
ensure you follow us on Instagrams at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all the conversations and engagements online. Remember to like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. True public safety requires the collaboration between the law enforcement and the community. I think Dixon has also mentioned that when he talked about government. We have to all come together to find a solution to the insecurity that we're facing. After we've dealt with Boko Haram, we've dealt with bandits, we've dealt with kidnappers, now we'll now deal with bus driver.
Rituals.
It's really sad and ritualist. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. It's our ladies' night out. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.